To Undisputed, I'm Alex Curry, live from Los Angeles, and I'm joined by Michael Vick, LeVar Arrington, and Greg Jennings. Guys, let me be the first to wish you all a happy new year. How's it going so far?
Oh, man, it's going great. You know what? I'm welcoming 2021 with open arms. LeVar and Greg are as well. And look, man, this is going to be a year to remember. I'm putting a stamp on it. I'm speaking it into existence. All good things this year. 2021, here we come, baby.
I'm stepping with you,
I
Mike.
love it.
No doubt.
Stepping with you, 7. It's
right there
it's
with
7,
you.
but it's 21. 20 was tough, but 20 was good.
Yeah.
Gave you an opportunity to learn a whole lot. You know, we can make it.
Yeah.
That's what I came out of 2020 with. Like, you know what? You know what, Alex?
What?
We can make it.
Yeah.
Hey, Greg.
We can make it.
We can make it, Greg.
How you feeling, Greg?
Every year is a new opportunity for progress. And so that's all I'm expecting. Great expectations as always, even as it was for 2020. Like the guy said, it's time for better.
Yes.
I love it. And look how we're all starting it here, bright and early on Undisputed. So let's get
It
to
is bright and early.
and start with some football. Will we finally be able on Sunday?
There will be one team that navigates this gauntlet. And I may sound a tad bit biased, 7, but I think it's going to be Washington. Hey, Greg, listen, let me set the stage here, all right? I played in the NFC East. You played in the NFC East. When you look at these matchups, you look at the Eagles versus the Washington football team. If you didn't know this, the Eagles have a superiority complex against the Washington football team. They think they're better, Mike. They always think they're better. Y'all bring more fans when y'all come to FedEx Field. You think you're better. So I look at this and it's like, man, knowing that Alex Smith is going to be back out there, that gives me hope that this Washington team is going to be the king author of this weekend. I think that you got Lancelot and Chase Young, superstar stud. But then you go over into Dallas and with the Giants, they have superiority complexes towards both of each other, right?
Right.
Giants think they're better than Dallas. Dallas thinks they're better than the Giants. So it's going to be an awesome matchup. You're talking about the city of brotherly love versus Chocolate City, the Big D versus the Big Blue. It's going to be an awesome weekend of games because it's all NFC East that determines who's going to make it to the playoffs. But I think Washington wins it.
You know what? I'm excited because, you know, this division was called the NFC least all season long. And it was for the most part, but then you get guys emerging, you know, like Alex Smith for the Washington football team, and I think he stepped up tremendously. It was what they needed with Coach Ron Rivera. You know, I do think the Cowboys beat the Giants this week, but I think to no avail. I think it's just too late. The Cowboys did turn up late, but as of right now, all signs showing that Alex Smith coming to play. And I think the football team, you know, going to put themselves in the position where, look, they win this weekend, they compete in the postseason. You know, I like where they at. So it's a storybook ending for Ron Rivera. It's a storybook ending for the football team, man, and it couldn't have ended a better way. But what the Dallas Cowboys got to learn, next year, 2021, you got to start a little faster. And I got to give props to Mike McCarthy because he galvanized the team. They hung in there. You know, they put forth their best effort. It was just a little too late. So, you know, as of right now, you know, I think
agree
we all
with you
can
guys
agree on this.
And for me, it goes a little deeper. When you look at this team without Alex Smith, they're just not that good. You're talking 18 points per game on offense, and that's where it matters. Let's be honest. That's where it matters. That's where it's been.
Greg.
That's where it's been most impactful when we look at this team. Alex Smith has this team when he does play at about 26, 27 points per game, and then over 325 yards per game. And without him, they're bottom tier in almost every statistical category. And you just can't win football games like that. And he also brings just a calm. He understands what Ron Rivera is trying to get done. When you look at that position across the league, you have to have stability. And what Alex Smith brings to the Washington football team is just that. Now, the Dallas Cowboys, I believe they do have a chance because, like I said, the Washington football team, they've shown resilience all year, and that's all they have to. 19 points on defense, which has been really good when you look at what they weren't able to do defensively all year long. And Vic, you talked about it. It's been a great job by Mike McCarthy. And far too often we jump on these head coaches as well as players as far as their chemistry and what they're not able to do with so little time in a year one. Like, it's year one and they've been afforded less time with one another in person and on the field. So I think he's done a really good job of really tying the knot to us, to so to speak, to where they have an opportunity that we're talking about them right now.
You know what's interesting about Washington and their scenario? When I was there, and even in years past, there's always confusion that seems to deteriorate the season. Looking at the Dwayne Haskins releasing this past weekend, or this past week, and looking at how he handled things and the position he puts himself in, Ron Rivera bodied him.
Yeah.
First round draft pick gets bodied. Like, take it on in.
Yeah.
Turn the book in. There's not going to be that state of confusion that derails this football team now.
Yeah.
And so there was no confusion of, is this a cultural shift, or is this just are you flexing of the muscle? Like, this is not going to happen this way, but it's still Washington football, team football. No, Ron Rivera said, look, all y'all on notice, if a top draft pick at the quarterback's position can get bodied during the season, anybody can get it. And I'm going to tell you right now, if that's me in that locker room, I'm not looking at it being scared. I'm looking at it like, we got a real one. We got to be real ones. And I think that that's going to be the catalyst for them moving forward.
Yeah, you got to accept that. And I think for Ron Rivera, he's a guy who's a genuine leader. And when he walks into the locker room and every word he says, it sounds off throughout that locker room. And, when you got a guy like Alex Smith and Ron Rivera paired together, you get the best of both worlds. You got that total leadership right there at your disposal. So this is what the Washington football team needed. They had a lot of turmoil last year, a lot of turmoil coming into this season, and now they get to clean it up quietly. And, a playoff berth does a lot for this team. Confidence moving forward, like I say, is what they brung Alex Smith and Ron Rivera to this team for, and now it's paying off, paying big dividends on both sides of the ball, offensively, defensively. Ron, the defensive guru, and Alex, he got the brain power at the offensive position, at the quarterback position.
You do know, G and Mike, what I do tend to question, and you guys have given Mike McCarthy so much credit here, and I believe that he's done well as of late in salvaging what's taking place. But this has been advertised as a Super Bowl ready team. And looking at this Dallas team, if they miss the playoffs because of another team, if they miss them, then now doesn't the company
and yada yada, and it's always been that way. But I think this team learn a lot from this season. Going into next season, they got to look at all the flaws, all the mistakes, and I'll say it again. Mike McCarthy did a great job with this team. Kellen Moore called the plays. It was a lot of variables, a lot of things that he had to deal with, and I can understand that from a head coach perspective, him just saying, all right, we're going to do it y'all way this year. Next year, we're going to do it my way. So, I think they got some good things coming their way. They just got to stick with the plan, continue to build in free agency through the draft, sign Dak first and foremost, and then maybe some